South Carolina. And you? Texas. Now, how long you been out west?
About 2 weeks now, I guess.
Well, Reed, just don't believe everything about the West that you read in those Eastern books and papers.
No, sir, I won't. Now, listen to this. And it comes from the New York City Observer, so you know it's true. Mr. Stuart Brannon, legendary hero of Hawthorne Miller's novels, arrived in this city yesterday and single-handedly disarmed 2 ruffians who accosted him just outside the train depot in a daylight display of...
Reed Reynolds continued to review the clippings, but Brannon had stopped listening. He thought he heard a shout from the vicinity of the dining car to the rear, and definitely could feel the train beginning to slow. Reaching to the floor, he pulled a small blanket up over his shoulders, covering his waist and chest. A lady's scream, several shouts, and a gunshot sent Reed Reynolds right up out of his seat and then to the floorboards. But Brannon didn't flinch.
Now, folks, that shot was through the ceiling. Next one will be straight into the heart of the first fool that goes for his gun, a man shouted. Farrow's at the back with a shotgun, and Scully's toting a satchel. We just expect you to toss in your pokes and purses nice and peaceful.
In the noise and confusion, Brannon had difficulty locating each of the 3 outlaws by sound alone. When he gets to our row, you stand up in the aisle, he growled under his breath to Reynolds.
What? Stand? Sure.
There was a scuffle, a gasp, a slap. Then the sound of boot heels and jingling spurs.
Well, if it ain't a brand new colt, put it in the bag or you'll never see your mama again, a man's voice threatened.
I'll have to stand to take it off, Reynolds whimpered.
Then stand. And your friend there, roust him out. Or is he trying to hide under that blanket?
I wouldn't bother him if I were you, Reynolds cautioned as he stood to unbuckle his gun belt.
No, thought Brannon. No, don't say it, Reynolds. Don't tell them who I am.
And why not?
The man with the gun demanded.
'Cause that's none other than Mr. Stuart Brannon, and...
At the mention of his name, Brannon heard the revolver's hammer click back as the outlaw started to fire. The responding blast from Brannon's .45 tore through the blanket and slammed into Scully's chest, causing his gun to discharge into the seat cushion as he collapsed in the aisle. Passengers screamed and dove for protection. Brannon instantly fired a second shot at Farrow at the rear of the car, who had just raised the shotgun to his shoulder. The bullet caught the man at the base of the neck and tumbled him onto his back. The blast from the shotgun opened a 2-foot hole in the ceiling of the Pullman car. At the same moment, the gunman at the front of the car fired at the only man standing. Reed Reynolds staggered and then tumbled down into the aisle. The jolt of the rapidly slowing train caused the remaining outlaw to stumble back against the train car door. It was just enough time for Brannon to take aim and shout, "Drop it, or I shoot!" The outlaw didn't. Brannon did. Babies cried, women screamed, men hollered, and the train shuddered to a halt. For 30 confusing minutes, the westbound Southern Pacific sat 46 miles southeast of Tucson, as 2 dead gunmen and 2 wounded men were transferred to the baggage car. Stuart Brannon, Dr. Devin Dalemead, and train agent Norman Gravett rode with the wounded.
"Mr. Brannon," Gravett began, "I do hope you understand that Southern Pacific policy is to try to prevent situations like this from occurring. It's very difficult to build customers' confidence, what with you starting the shooting and—"
"Mr. Gravett," Brannon snapped, "when a man begins to pull a trigger on a loaded weapon pointed at me from only a few feet away, I intend to stop him."
"Yes, well, I understand," Gravett mumbled. "What I mean to say is perhaps you'd be happier with some other mode of transportation."
"Are you kicking me off the railroad?"
"Heavens, no. I merely, well, I did jump the wire and send a message about the shooting on ahead to the sheriff in Tucson."
"That ought to bring a crowd out."
"To see the famous Stuart Brannon?"
"Not hardly, but they'll be there to see these bodies. Dead outlaws always bring a crowd." Dr. Dalemead interrupted.
"Brannon, your friend Reynolds wants to talk to you."
"How's it look?"
"Nasty, but survive."